Welcome to my channel. I'm Marie and I make clothes. So today we will be making shorts using a free pattern from fabricstore.com. This is part 1 of the 2-piece set I made for our Bora trip. For the second part, the top I will be making would be a button-down shirt. Of course, using another free pattern. This channel will be mainly about me making clothes using free patterns, so if you're interested in that, subscribe, like the video, so you can easily find it in your playlist if you want to recreate. And comment down any patterns you want me to make or any suggestions. The pattern I used is the cat's Wideleg Culottes Pattern. This is a PDF. I will link it down below so you can print it out. It's free to download from fabricstore.com. And they have a blog post for the instruction, which I will link down as well. I made mine with French seams for a clean finish. Since I don't have a serger, it's an easy sew. And it took me around 3 to 4 hours. That already includes the time to prepare the pattern. My size is 4/6. I have a video on how to download, print the pattern properly, and connect the pattern pieces, link down below. I also added 1 centimeter seam allowance all around, except on the waistband and hem for the French seams. Materials I used: sewing pattern, elastic band, matching thread, and the fabric. Fabric is a cotton linen blend from Shopee. If you are from PH, the shop is Fabricated. Tools I used: scissors, pins, ruler, chalk, measuring tape, safety pin, sewing machine. I cut the culottes into shorts. You can adjust the shorts to your preferred length. With that being said, let's start. Fold the fabric, then trace the pattern on the fabric. And don't forget to transfer the notches on the fabric. Cut the fabric following the trace pattern. You should have to piece front, to piece back, and for piece pocket. The first thing to do is to attach the pockets. I did a French seam pockets. I followed a YouTube tutorial on French seam pockets. I will try to demonstrate the steps, but I will link the video below for better visual. On the pocket, draw a line 1 centimeter from the edge and 1 centimeter from both ends of the line. This will be the guide. With right sides together, place the pocket on the front piece alongside the side seam. Follow the notch for the pocket placement. Use the marking as a guide and sew. Trim the seam allowance, leaving about 3 millimeters. Clip in the corner up to the stitches. Be careful not to clip through the stitches. Turn the pocket to the wrong side, then pin. On the right side, edge a stitch 5 millimeters on the pocket opening only. Put the other pocket behind the stitched pocket with the wrong side. Together, pin along the outer edge. Sew the outer edge of the pocket with 5 millimeters seam allowance. Turn the pocket inside out, then pin the edges flat along the seam. Next, stitch the edge of the pocket again, this time with 1 cm seam allowance. This will encase the ridge and create a French seam. Place the wrong side of the front and back piece along the side seam and pin in place. Sew the side seam with 5 mm seam allowance. Open the garment with the right side facing up. Make sure to keep the pocket underneath the front side. Place the right side together, pin the seam in place, and sew the side seam with 1 cm seam allowance. When sewing the seam, make sure not to sew the pocket opening. You will be able to feel the pocket opening between the layers. Open the garment. Now you will be able to see the neat French seam. Repeat all those steps for the other short side. Once we are done with the pockets and side seam, let's move on to attaching the front and back piece at the inseam. Wrong sides together, pin the front to the back at the inseam. Then sew at 1 cm seam allowance. Trim half of the seam allowance. Then face right sides together, pin and sew at 1 cm seam allowance, encasing the raw edge to make a French seam. Once we are done with the short legs, we will move on attaching the legs together. Wrong sides together, pin the crotch, matching the front, back, and inseams. Then sew with 1 centimeter seam allowance. Trim the seam allowance, leaving 5 millimeters. Then face right sides together. Pin and sew at 1 centimeter seam allowance, closing the raw edges, making a French seam. Now that we are done attaching the legs together, you can try out the shorts to make sure it fits on the hips. Next, we will work in the elasticated waistband. To create the casing for the elastic, fold the raw edge 1 centimeter to the wrong side and sew. Then fold another 5.5 centimeters and pin in place. Stitch around the lower edge of the casing 5 millimeters from the edge. Leave about 5 centimeters opening to be used to insert the elastic. Remember to backstitch at both ends. For the elastic, I used 3/4 of my waist measurement and added 2 centimeters seam allowance. Using your safety pin, insert the elastic. Stitch the elastic ends together. Pull gently on the waistband fabric to distribute the gathers evenly. Sew the opening closed with 5 millimeters seam allowance from the edge. Make sure not to sew into the elastic itself. Hem the shorts by folding the fabric 1 centimeter to the wrong side, sew, and fold again 2 centimeters, then sew. Lastly, to create the tiered effect, divide the casing into 3 equal parts and run 2 lines of top stitching, stretching the elastic as you go. And that's it! We have completed our new pair of elasticated shorts. This shorts is perfect as a beach shorts, or paired with a top to run errands. A versatile wardrobe piece that everyone should have in their closet. You can sew this with different fabrics depending on the occasion you want to wear it for. Definitely a must-have piece. You can also adjust the length of the shorts to your preference, as well as how high-waisted you want it to be. But this is the original waist, without any adjustment for your reference. I partnered this shorts with the Noa shirt. It turned out so well. That's why I love to make clothes with free patterns, because I know that it would fit me, especially patterns from fabricstore.com. If you enjoyed this video and want to make your own clothes, especially basic pieces for a capsule wardrobe, like, subscribe and comment down any patterns you want me to test out. I have a goal this year to make all of my clothes using free patterns. I will be posting at least once a week, so tap on the bell icon to be notified. If you have not watched my previous video on how to download, print and assemble the free sewing patterns I use, I will link it down below. And if you decide to make yourself a shorts or the pants version, let's use the hashtag #FabricsStoreCastPattern when you share your creations. And if you made it using this tutorial, add the hashtag #MarieMakes. Thank you fabricstore.com for this free pattern. My next video will be making the Noa shirt. See you next week. Have the best day. And remember to love yourself. Behind the scenes.
Libut? Ya. Libut. Telikut tuh. Mau